morning. My name is Lindsay Dunkel, and I am very pleased to be your worship associate this morning. Will you please take a moment to make sure that your cell phones are silenced? And consider scooting in if you're on an edge so that there's room for those yet to come. And will you rise and join in singing in body and or spirit? Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Open, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Don't be, rejoice, and come in. Keep them going. Keep them going. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Don't be afraid of some change.
Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Enter, rejoice.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will
Be a joy. Today will be a joy. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. What fun. Well, hi. I'm the Reverend Kevin Tarsa, just back from a really wonderful sabbatical time. Oh, thanks for that. It's a mutual alleluia. Now, For those who don't know or who haven't figured it out, I've had the gift of 4.5 months to invest in the renewal of my well-being in any ways that I recognized as ways that would not only support me and my well-being, but that would allow me to come back and be of greatest service going forward. So I knew my top priority was downtime. And that's what I prioritized, downtime. Lots of great time at home, hiking, camping, lots of time in the garden. Oh my goodness. And lots of time and energy digging more internally too. Some really good psychotherapy, some really good study of the Enneagram, and a great chance to visit and really meaningfully connect and catch up with family and longtime friends in Michigan. So it's been really wonderful. I feel very, very grateful for that. I know not everyone gets this chance, right? Special time set aside, paid even, to take care of our well-being. So I understand what a great gift it is. Thank you to everyone who has stepped forward, moved forward to help whatever needed to happen in the meantime. I know that took a lot of extra at many levels. So those of you who are leaders and those of you who do so much behind the scenes that we may not even know about. So welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of the mountains in Grass Valley. Welcome in the room, welcome to the folks who are online on Zoom. I got to see a few before the service. It's a perfect way to come back to see your faces, your familiar faces, and your new faces to this June theme of delight. June theme of delight. Here at UUCM, as we call it, our goal is to live a genuine welcome, a real welcome, to learn to really see each other if we can, and to learn to recognize and welcome the full truth of who we are underneath all the labels, including our own labels for ourselves. Here, the welcome happens not really and not primarily from me or this microphone, but from every person to every other person. That's where the welcome happens. In the ways we break through our reserve and our shyness and our cautiousness sometimes to acknowledge each other with the kindness in our eyes, the warmth and welcome in our voice or our words or our posture or our gesture, in the ways all morning long that we look out for each other, look out for the well-being and make sure people have what they need to be here and at home and present and as comfortable as possible, so that we can sometimes be as challenged as possible too. So this morning, often we have a ritual of placing stones in the bowl of water to acknowledge the joys, the sorrows, the things that are going on in our life that are really working with us right now. This Sunday, Carol Ritchie is there at the stones at the front. Anytime during the service or after, you're welcome to place a stone. Carol's a member of the lay pastoral care team who's been holding that space really beautifully while I've been gone. Difficult to hear? Yeah, thank you. So here today, may your heart be lifted. May your anguish and your ache be met with care. May your joy and delight find freedom and release. May your fear be eased. And may your heart know, really know, not just here, but here and here, that the real you can find, can be for this hour at home. And to help make that true, I invite you to receive a full breath and to just release it. Sounds like we could use another one. A full breath and just release it. Oh, I hear other things being released. I can hear one more coming. Another breath. And just release it. Yeah. So that you're ready from this place to take a moment to with genuine welcome and some courage. Say hi to the folks around you, whether you're in the room or you're in the Zoom room. I invite you to welcome each other. In Michigan, where I visited my family, my many siblings, we grew up in the land of the Odawa and the Ojibwe, the people of that land who were gradually funneled into smaller and smaller pieces of earth, and finally onto a small reservation right behind my grandparents' farm in the county of Leelanau, which we all learned growing up was a native word which meant land of delight. It's surrounded on 3 sides by Lake Michigan, and it's only 348 square miles, but it has 100 miles of shoreline, 33 inland lakes, and 5 islands, giving it the second highest proportion of water of any county in the United States. It's sometimes mosquitoes. It is indeed, and must have been for the people who were there longer than my family, a land of delight. Now, at this point, it will not surprise you to learn that the name Leelanau was actually a name made up by a European writer and geographer, a name he used for some of the Native American women in his stories. Out of the sadness that must come with the knowing, my gladness is that our awareness is growing. Our awareness is changing. Piece by piece, we are learning and taking in more of the truths that we need to know for the sake of our own integrity and well-being. With this basket of local black oak acorns in this room, we express our heartfelt desire that the Nisenan people of this land may recover more and more of their rich cultural heritage. We commit to support them in these and other efforts in whatever ways we can and under their guidance and at their request.
Come into this circle of community. Come into this sacred space. Come into this circle of community. Come into this sacred space. Be not tentative. Bring your whole self. Bring the joy that makes your heart sing. Bring your kindness and your compassion. Bring also your sorrow, your pain. Bring your brokenness and your disappointments. Spirit of love and mystery, help us to recognize the spark of the divine that resides within each of us. May we know the joy of wholeness. May we know the joy of being together.
There is a song. If you're happy and you know it. If you're happy and you know it. If you're happy and you know it, then you're surely show it. If you're happy and you know it. Today we're inviting everyone to think about what makes you happy. What delights you? What truly makes you happy? Things you're grateful for that experience of joy. So I invited a few people. We'll have a chance later to place objects or bring objects and name them, but especially for the younger folks who might not be here later, is there anything that you would care to name right at the beginning here that makes you happy? Feel free to call it out. Connection. Friendship. Strawberries. I was waiting for some food. Gardens. Babies' laughter and family. So here's my question. How do you know you're happy? How do you know you're happy? Anyone? I heard smiling. Your face smiles. Your heart feels light. Your body feels light. Expansiveness. Jenny. Oh, not, this will be another time. Yeah, there'll be time for that. Yeah, thank you, Jenny. How do you know you're happy? Irrepressible laughter. Oh, this is great. Anyone do happy dances? Anyone care to demonstrate their happy dance? Yes, yes. Or you know, when people go, or. So most of us think, yeah. Oh, show me what you do. Now that we've had a chance to demonstrate, go everybody at one time. What are some things that you do when you're happy? Oh, arms going up, thumbs up, sound, movement. So most of us think that happiness starts in our brain, in our thinking, in our awareness. So for example, we start clapping. Or we think, oh, we're happy, and so we'll start clapping. We think, we're happy, so I think I'll smile. When top secret information, it's exactly the other way around. We start smiling and our brain goes, oh, that must mean I'm happy. We start doing the dance and our brain goes, oh, let me get that. Oh, that must mean I'm happy. It's actually the other way around. Our body goes first. That's what happens first. So one way to know what really makes you happy, instead of thinking about what makes you happy or deciding what you think makes you happy, is remembering when your body does something that says, oh, look at that, I must be happy. I'll come back to that later, but I invite you to take a moment to think of a time when your body said, I am happy, and go with the thing that pops up. What memory pops up when you say, oh, I knew I was happy, deeply, really happy. Got it? What do you notice in your body, anyone? Effervescence. Beth is echoing. Effervescence and uprising. Relaxation, your body eased. Yeah. Light, feeling light, like less weighty. Yeah. To be continued. Are there any young people who want to name something that makes them happy before they go? Or maybe an adult knows what it is. Dog Angel, your dog Angel. Yeah. One of the things that makes us happy whenever we get the chance is to have some time with all of us together, with all our variety and all our ages. Right? That's one of our joys when that can happen. And we know that some of the things we do in this room are not exactly all that exciting for young people, right? So they get time to do exactly the things that are right to be together and to be happy. And as this part of the service each Sunday, we sing them on their way to Kids Connection, those who want to go. So I invite us to rise in body or in spirit and to sing our youngest members who want to on their way to Kids Connection. I'll show you the clap.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Within the woodlands far related, by the oak tree's mossy mood, the shining grass blades timber shaded, now do quiver underfoot, and birds do whistle overhead, and waters bubbling in its bed. And therefore beneath the apple tree do lean down, blowing lingering green. When leaves have lain, were a springing, now do fade within the clouds, and painted birds do hush their singing up upon the timber tops, and round the roofs the turning red, and clouds the sunshine overhead, with fruits for me, the apple tree do lean down, blowing linden and green. Let other folk make money faster in the air of dark-room towns. I don't dread a peevish master, though no man may heed my frowns. I'd be free to go abroad, or take again my homeward road, to where for me the apple tree do lean down, blowing linden green.
So many of the members of this congregation, including me, speak of our delight in nature. True. In the world beyond the walls of our homes, many people say that nature is their church, the river or the mountains, or being outdoors, or sometimes it's gardening too. In the words that we just heard from the choir, thank you, as William Barnes put it, the power of the woodlands, flowery gladed by the oaks, trees mossy, moot, the shining grass blades, timber shaded, quivering underfoot, birds whistling overhead, water bubbling in its bed. Yes, nature is church for many of us, at least part of the time. So thank you for speaking to that source of delight for us this morning, both the nature and then the joy of singing and music and beauty. Thank you. So 2 weeks ago, as I was nearing the end of sabbatical, I thought, I'm going to take some time just to see where I'm at, right? I've been doing lots of downtime, lots of digging in, lots of learning. Where am I? So I spent some time at Ananda meditation retreat, just doing a personal retreat. I rented a little cabin, beautiful, had that whole part of the place to myself, that whole stretch of the territory. doing exactly what I wanted. I could attend yoga or the meditation sessions if I wanted. Beautiful wildflowers, amazing number of wildflowers on the hikes. And having this open sense of being open to what's going to come. What am I? Where am I? What do I know? So about the third morning, I woke up feeling anxious in my gut. I thought, why would I be feeling? I'm in a meditation retreat of my own choosing, with no structure. Why could I possibly be anxious? And so I thought, well, I woke up a couple times during the night. I think I will do some yoga nidra. For those who don't know, it's a deep body scan and a really powerful body relaxation. Especially when you're a little short on sleep, it really helps you restore some of that energy. So I have a recording on my phone and to help me walk through that. And so I do this calming, scan your body, work through, get quiet. And this got worse. The anxiousness got worse. What the heck? Anxiousness got worse. But hey, one of my learnings and practices during the time I've been away is to say, how can I be curious about this? What is that about? Why would it get worse when I'm trying to calm myself? So I said, let me pay closer attention. So I go, yep, there's that feeling in my gut there. But, oh boy, there's something else too. It's kind of almost a discomfort, but it's coming up, kind of up my center of my torso, up into my sternum, and kind of wants to push out my sternum. Now, I have been building a glossary of my body's language with more and more subtlety, so I know what it's telling me, because I'm one of those people who needs that, right? So I go, oh, now I've learned that when I'm really powerfully drawn to something, like it just passionately and deeply says, yes, go this way. It's like something wants to push out my sternum, and like a string is attached and wants to pull me forward to follow it, like the dance instruction that says, follow your sternum. So I said, oh, wait a minute. Anxious, this like powerful, wait a minute. I'm not anxious. I am raring to go. I am all excited and raring to go. Like I'm ready to go start the day. And this tells you something about me, that I misinterpreted raring to go energy as anxiousness and problematic and needing calming, right? So I'm doing exactly the opposite of what my body's saying, which is get up and go. So I got up, had breakfast, had like a 2.5, 3 hour hike. Great start today. Did my yoga and stretches, and I came back and it was still only 8 o'clock in the morning. I was raring to go. Now I share this. Oh, sorry. I told this to Siobhan when I came back. And she said, oh yeah, we used to tell the kids in school that, sometimes when you're nervous, that's very similar to being excited. So it might be being excited. In fact, maybe you can help yourself by, instead of thinking about it as being nervous, think about it as maybe being excited, and that can help you. Apparently, it takes me almost 60 years to figure this out. If only I had had Siobhan as a teacher. Oh. Now, I share this because, well, in part because it tells you something about me, and also because for those of us who learned early in life to focus our attention on what other people want and think and feel and need, it is very difficult to figure out what we want and think and feel and need. And sometimes what we think is making us happy is actually something we figured out makes someone else happy. And we don't realize it's their happy thing, not ours. So in case it's helpful for you today and beyond, I invite you to listen to what your body is saying. The brain and the thinking process can make up all kinds of stories and distractions and can deceive us. The body, on the other hand, has a very difficult time lying. And of all the emotions, there's this beautiful study on this in Europe. Of all the emotions, they studied, I think, around 24. The only one that activated the entire body, including the legs, was happiness. It's the only emotion that included the legs, and thus the happy dance. Thus the urge to move. Now, some of you have brought objects that symbolize sources of your delight and deep joy, and we'll take a moment to share those. And if you haven't thought of it yet, I invite you just to take some time as we're going to get back to a memory. Without working too hard to choose it, let a memory come up of being happy. So you can share, you can come up to one of the mics or call out into the room at some point. And we invite the Zoom folks to be able to speak to us as well. So if you're on Zoom and want to be sharing, raise your hand, either technologically or physically. We'll try to help manage that. So I invite you to let us know what's in a phrase or sentence. What's one of your sources of true, deep, real, perhaps effervescent, perhaps soothing happiness? And if you want to show us your object, feel free. Anyone? Oh.
Disneyland pin trading and hunting for that perfect completion collection with my daughter has brought me so much joy, both of us, so much joy. So these are our Disneyland lanyards full of pins. Each one of the items on this, each one of the pins on this symbolizes a visit that actually this is Rowan's and that's mine, but that we bought during one of our trips to Disneyland, and then they're all really neat. You should take a look at them if you want. One of the joys that I experienced with my father, and there weren't a whole lot of those. When he passed, I finally had some money and was able to take Rowan to Disneyland. So it was like this really neat cycle of joy. Yeah.
So very briefly, I again want to thank the community for all that you did for me. It's still a stunning thing to have me realize this. It's just kind of hard for me to believe, but it's true. And I now have a roof over my head, and it's my roof, and walls that work. And my cat is happy too. In fact, recently he started to purr again after something like 3 years of not purring. So, and I'm purring too, and so is my and so is my daughter.
Okay, I have this rock that says breathe on it. And so rocks, I've always been attracted to rocks. It connects me to the world. I love hiking. I love everything about scrambling on rocks. And written on my rock is the word breathe. And it took me a long time, and I'm still on a journey of doing breath work. And I'm always a little bit surprised when I get into that place where I'm grounded again, and it's like coming home with my breath. And it does bring me so much joy. So that's what I wanted to share.
Several months ago, someone sent my husband a card of thanks that happened to have an image on the front that we love so much that we have kept it on our dining room table ever since, because every time you look at it, you feel, I don't know what that stuff is, unscripted joy, and I'm going to share it with you.
We'll describe it in a moment for the folks online.
It is a little dog in a red super coat.
It's a little dog in like a red super cape leaping toward the camera.
So Ruby and I have a morning ritual because she likes TV a little bit. She wakes up in the morning and asks me to go if she could watch TV. And I'm like, how about we go sit on the front porch? And we go sit on the front porch, and it just feels like we have this beautiful forest all around our house. And the sun just shines on our faces. And she doesn't think about TV at all anymore. It just, and it's so fresh, and it feels like a morning play meditation that just makes us relax and feel happy and open. And I wouldn't just call it happy, I would call it open and relaxed. And it invites us to delight in nature and birds and light. And it's very good for a child's body and my body. Yeah.
Marilyn Winters has asked me to share her joy in being here today with everybody now that she's back in Grass Valley and able to be here.
I'm putting a diamond ring on here. Don't take it. This is for my decades with my wonderful partner who has been so supportive and kind to me through the years. And I know most of you all feel the same way about your partners. So I'll put it there for everybody, but don't take it.
I got this plaque from a gardening catalog 15 years ago. It says, "There is beauty to be found in every corner of this world." And this has helped me feel a lot of hope. It's expanded not just to beauty of admiring. I'm kind of an admirer of artists and music. I'm not a creator of those things. But it's more now facing truth, seeing reality, and being reminded by just wondrous things and beauty from a beautiful piece of art again. That just keeps me going, and it gives me a lot of hope. And there is beauty to be found in every corner of this world.
This is a picture of my dog Angel. I've just thrown a ball for her at one of our coastal beaches. And she runs and chases it and rolls around on it. I swear she's doing an adjustment. And she comes running back with it in her mouth, her face all full of sand. And I thought, wow, that sure looked like fun. I put the ball on the ground, got down on it and rolled around, and she's licking my face, and pure joy. And 10 years later, my inhibitions almost don't exist anymore.
Lori, that's a model for us. I want to check with is there anyone who's on Zoom who would like to be sharing? If you lift up your hand. Oh, Eileen is ready, so we'll spotlight Eileen, and she'll unmute herself.
This is my multicolored colored pencil, which is because I love to sit and draw. And this gives me any color I want, except not necessarily the ones I want, whichever ones it decides to do.
Eileen, thank you. Anyone else who's on Zoom that wants to? Tom is ready. So we'll spotlight Tom and make sure Tom can unmute.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
This is a picture, I think, that expresses joy, and is my delight is making music.
Tom, thank you. Anyone else on Zoom? Oh, I see Wendy. Yeah, Wendy. So we'll spotlight Wendy.
Can you hear me? This is a picture of me and Tom on our wedding day. And this is one of the happiest days of my life.
Wendy, thank you. Anyone else on Zoom? There's Robin. It's so nice to be able to bring the Zoom folks into the room today.
This just represents my love of nature, and since we've lived up here, and and all the creativity and everything I have in my home, and it's so nice to be able to sit out in my yard, and all the flowers are blooming, and the bees and the butterflies are coming, and that gives me joy and delight.
Excellent. And Bev, there we go.
Okay, hi. Well, I've discovered in the last few weeks, all of a sudden when I take our little dog out, I am singing or whistling. And I walk through the entry, singing, not really loud, but singing loud enough to hear, and whistling and saying hi to people. And it just started. I didn't think about doing it. And so for me, the spring has brought back true joy.
Beautiful. I think Carmen was ready.
Almost 7 years ago, I decided to start or end the rest of my life with sobriety. And at the time, I needed a community. I needed the support. And I found this community. And I found Kevin. And you guys are awesome. You have no idea how often you've helped me through a lot of hard times. And I just want to reiterate, this was the longest 4.5 months of my life. Thank you.
So I have lots of artists in my family and extended family, but for the last 8 weeks, I have been doing color art in my garden every week. For 8 weeks, I've planted a new garden, new flowers, and it's just been delightful. A wonderful way for color to come back into my life.
We were married 60 years. We met on a sailing trip in Naval Academy. See the hat, I'll remind you.
Connie's husband's Naval Academy cap she's showing us.
So I'd like to put Kevin here. And also, some of you know that I had the incredible opportunity to be a social work intern at one of our local high schools. And one of my greatest joys was spending time with the queer youth there. And so I put one of my earrings, which are pride colors, on the altar, and really just how beautiful and supportive this community is to all of us. Thank you.
You're going to have to accept a virtual garden angel. I had it on the counter, but I went out in my garden and forgot all about it. And I think that that's sort of my, the thing that makes me the happiest is planting and sharing my plants with others and giving them plants, putting them in my garden, watching them grow, and then sharing my produce either through cooking or giving it away.
I just like to say the thing that brings me delight is my wife Lindsay's smile. And I wanted to say, and I just wanted to say, you know, in my latest, whatever existential crisis I'm in, Lindsay will say, let's go into town and get ice cream at Treats like we did last night. And it's great, it's delightful. So that's my daily delight.
I'm feeling joy this morning at the sounds of young life over here in the corner.
I brought a photograph that I just found in a box since we moved a year and a half ago, cleaning out the garage. And it's a picture of little me. I'm about 5. And I'm laying in a, well, it's a strange contraption. I'll let you look at this picture closer later, but it's a handmade wagon wheel merry-go-round with supports and a Red Ryder wagon stuck on top of it. And I'm spilling out of it, but the part I like about the picture the best is that I'm gazing up through the fall leaves at the sky, wondering about the mystery, and I just look so peaceful. And so that solitude brings me delight.
We'll do a few more, and then just so you know, I'm going to give everybody a chance to talk to the people around you, so everybody gets a chance to at least say something. But we'll do a few more from the mic. Yeah, just come on up. Yeah, go ahead.
Since we have a dog theme going here, I forgot to bring the little portrait of my dog that a friend watercolored for me. Nobody can probably see the picture. Her name's Lily, and that was my son's first stuffed animal, and they've become best friends. She brings me a lot of joy when I come home, and she's so happy to see me. She brings other people joy because every time I walk her, people say, oh, that dog's so cute. And she brings me joy, I know, because I make up little dog songs for her, which I'm constantly singing to her. So she chose me 10 years ago, and it's been a great journey together.
My daughter Amy is an earth child, as I am as well. And this she gave to me some years ago. It's the most fascinating little painting of a being coming out of the earth. And here's a human face here. And this so represents myself and my daughter in our love of the earth, gardening, walking, hiking, being outside instead of inside. Although inside right now isn't bad, no. So I'll just let you look at this.
I debated whether to bring my fiddle for show and tell. The fiddle won and stayed home. But I was among the first to be delighted by Kevin's return with the string ensemble, which is one of the many ways that UUCM brings joy and happiness into my life. And I think one of the ways I know I'm happy is that I'm not thinking about whether I'm happy.
I'm not going to leave them on the altar, but my children are definitely my delight right now. And I started parenting pretty late in life in my 40s, and it's just been such a blessing. And I'm sure those of you who have kids know like how hard it is and how just the delight of the children help you get through. So.
Hi, yeah, so I brought up this guitar pick. I always carry one with me, just in case, you never know. What's that? Oh, sorry, it's a guitar pick. Yeah, so I always keep one in my wallet at all times. You never know when you're gonna need a guitar pick. So I thought of this because I was just here a couple nights ago practicing with the jazz ensemble. We actually came right after the string ensemble was here. And I get a lot of joy from playing with these people. It's one of the few things that gets me out of my head and just lets me be happy. So thank you for letting us, hosting us here at UU so we can practice. Thank you.
As some of you know, about 7 years ago, I was near death. I had bacterial meningitis, which is often fatal. And then I spent 4 years in assisted living in a 3rd floor apartment overlooking carports, okay? And for 15 months, having all my meals in my apartment during the pandemic and no outside activities. Okay, I now have a house. I live independently. I have a cat. I have a deck. I have planters. The squirrels this year are not eating my flowers. I have birds. I have my piano, music, and I have a chance to be connected to other people.
So November 2021, I attempted to take my own life. Fortunately, I was unsuccessful. So what I bring here, this is a fidget that I was given while I was in the hospital from one of the nurses. And then when I got out, my parents got me a dog. And so this is his emotional support animal registration certificate card. Actually, we just celebrated a 1.5 years together. And actually, 2.5 weeks ago was the first morning that I woke up excited for my day and excited to be here. So I'm healing and I'm just excited for my journey.
Thank you, Max. There's a joy. Now, I bet your body has been changing, feeling, even as you're listening to other people tell theirs. True? You hear something, you go, oh. So I invite you to turn to the people, especially those who haven't had a chance to speak yet. Turn to somebody near you or be a listening ear for somebody to share something that brings you joy, if you choose. No one's forced, and people online to use the chat to do so. So take a moment, share something. All too short, right? So the whole thing is meant to be a start. All of this is meant to be a start. So please continue those stories. Make sure everyone around you has had a chance to share a bit. I brought a little mini piano and mala beads for chanting. I almost brought seedlings for the garden. But when I listen to my body, the thing that takes over my body in terms of joy is making music with other people. When it hits that transcendent moment, where it's something beyond the moment. Yeah, so that's mine. Alan Cohen wrote, "You will find truth more quickly through delight than gravity." You'll find truth more quickly through delight than gravity. May this sharing today on this first Sunday of June spark a month-long journey toward the truth that you are most seeking. May this be the start of that move toward the truth you're seeking. There's plenty of gravity around. Yes, not to be denied or ignored, but perhaps for this month, try the more direct path to truth through delight and joy, starting first by noticing what brings you delight and joy in your body in the first place. May it be so.
I brought this ski boot because, like David was saying, that's the thing that takes me out of my head, puts me fully in my body, and lets me feel joy and delight. And it connects me to my childhood, where I spent 2 years in Switzerland and we skied a lot. And I was a tiny little child with a doll and a backpack singing on my way down the slopes. I always sang when I skied. And I was lucky enough to have a childhood that included those things, and a lot of stability, and not everyone is. And as you may know, each month we choose a local nonprofit to share our wealth with, that we give 25% of our offering to them. And this month, that nonprofit is the Care Crisis Nursery. And their mission is to provide shelter and respite for the children and assistance to their families who are facing crisis, and to safely and effectively supervise court-ordered visitations for families seeking reunification. So may there be more children singing on their way down the ski slope. Yeah. So will the greeters please come forward? If you would like 100% of your donation to go to Care Crisis Nursery, please place it in the white envelopes that you will find in each basket. And for more ways to give, please see this slide. Thank you for that beautiful music, Toby. Thank you all for your generosity. We dedicate these offerings to the safety and well-being of all the children in our community and beyond. Thank you to our choir for your marvelous singing this morning. The choir rehearses at 6:30 on Wednesday evenings right here. We take all comers. If you want to find some delight, come sing with other people. Just come try it out. Thank you to our marvelous AV team back there. Hang on, Cypress, I need that slide. To Paul and Gary and Cypress, to George for behind the scenes, to Eileen Hale, our chat host extraordinaire. Thank you actually to Linda Siska for helping visualize and put together this central altar, as well as for the beauty back there. Thanks to our greeters, Lori, Gwen, Connie, and to all the people who brought refreshments for this Sunday, so many, and Cheryl Spalding, who's upstairs with the kids. A few announcements. The Stop the Mine Task Force is going to be meeting tomorrow. The book group is reading the book The Swimmers, meeting next Sunday. And we have many special snacks at the end of that hallway after the service as part of our Welcome Back, Kevin. And our community business meeting at 1 o'clock today. Check your email if you're on Zoom and you want to join that way. The link will be or was sent again today. To learn about our services and so much more about what goes on in this community, please visit our website, uugrassvalley.org.
And I'll name that next Sunday, we're doing a singing meditation service. Totally selfish to sing together for that kind of delight. And a huge thank you to Lindsay, whose smile we all appreciate. I have this urge to do a little bouncing, actually. So the words to our closing song are not actually originally, "'Tis a gift to be simple." The original words were, the Shaker tune from a long time ago, the words were, "'Tis the gift to be simple. 'Tis the gift to be free. 'Tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, it will be the valley of love and delight." I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and to sing and maybe happy dance or whatever your body is inclined to do in response. Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed to turn. Till by turning, we come round. Second chance. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed to turn will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right. The words of Saint May Sarton: "The quality of life is in proportion always to the capacity for delight." The quality of life is in proportion always to the capacity for delight. The capacity for delight is the gift of paying attention. So speaking of delight and paying attention, I'm a person who enjoys being rewarded for staying till the very end of the movie credits. You know how sometimes they'll do something a little special? You know, you may be wondering why there's a kite hanging in the center of the sanctuary. And maybe you've come to your own story and wonderful conclusion. The presence of the kite is actually inspired by the Alan Cohen quote that I started earlier but did not finish. It begins, "You will find truth more quickly through delight than gravity." And then it continues, "So let out a little more string on your kite." You'll find truth more quickly through delight than gravity. Let out a little more string on your kite. This week, may you find a way, or two or three, to let out a little more string on your kite. And so to find yourself open to any joy and delight that the breezes might lift up. In the words of our shared benediction, good words to each other, may each of us carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. If you're here in the building, please come join us for refreshments in the back. And everyone, we'll see you next Sunday for singing meditation. Oh, see you at 1 o'clock for the meeting. Yeah, that's right. See you at 1 o'clock for the meeting. And then next Sunday.